I'm going to record. Anybody not familiar with the S.A.V.E.R.S routine? Oh, okay. Carmen raised her hand. Yogini, if you raised your hand, forgive me, I can't see it. I'm assuming you're driving. She's a very busy lady. So,
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I don't think I'm familiar with it either, so I'm interested to hear what that is.
all right. So I'm going to do a quick share screen. Don't need audio, video, or anything like that. I came across this. Um, it was a coach that made mention of it, and then I'd seen it pop up a couple of more times. And I actually, over the period of time, have started this, and as we do with a lot of things, we get derailed and not see it through. But if you if you want to get your morning started in a very positive way, this isn't a bad way to start. So let me do a quick share screen here. Boom and share. And wonderful. You should all see that. Our morning miracle routine. So this is called S.A.V.E.R.S, S-A-V-E-R-S, as you can see in the visual here. So this is your morning routine. This is basically you set your okay, I gotta get out of the house time, and you work it backwards to, well, in order to get all these things done, I need to get up hour and a half early,
Hmm.
depending on how you build out your routine. So, for instance, you will start with silence, prayer, meditation. The idea, it says right here, and this is beautiful. By the way, if you Google Savers, it's going to come up with these helpful sheets. You can just download them and keep them in a notebook or whatever. Silence, about 5 minutes. If you can do 5 minutes of sitting in absolute silence and going and not going, ooh, I got an idea popped in my head, I got to write it down, right? Right. It's I've got this going on. I got this thought. It's getting to a point, whether you stare at a candle or whether you close your eyes and you think of a single object, or whether you pray or you meditate, how whatever that is for you, the idea is not to get up with a flood of thoughts in your head of all the things you got to do today, but to actually quiet yourself, quiet your heartbeat, quiet your mind, get started with a nice soft start. 5 minutes, 10 at the most. Doesn't take a lot. You don't have to do a lot to do this part. Um, there are other things on here that recommend times, and as you do it and develop it for yourself, you're going to find that 5 to 10 minutes will probably be the best for you. Affirmations. So, yeah, I know it sounds corny, right? Affirmations, another 5 to 10 minutes. Five is probably good. So sometimes we have to sit, and affirmations could be different for a lot of people. You can look up and find a lot of ways different people do affirmations. I am great, I am kind, I am smart, I am intelligent, I'm a go-getter. You can also remind yourself of your accomplishments. Look at all the things I've done over the years. I've done these things. It's just you're looking at yourself and you're going, you know what? I really am a good person. We tend to get down on ourselves. Maybe we didn't meet our goals yesterday. Maybe we got derailed yesterday. We feel like losers. I feel like a failure. I'm not up on my goal, on my weight loss and all of that. No, that doesn't belong here. We've silenced our minds. We get into affirmations and remind ourselves that we really are good people. Um, Visualizations. I've listened to Jim Rome, Zig Ziglar, Norman Vincent Peale. Those were the guys that Tony Robbins learned from. And there's a lot of literature out there, and all of you are probably familiar with it, that visualizing what it is you're trying to achieve as if you're already there, right? You've quieted yourself, you've affirmed yourself. It's like, you know what? I got this. I got this. Oh, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich when was that written? Back in the 30s or 40s. And oh, you're on mute, Terry. Just I
Yeah, this particular copy is the original unedited 1937 text
right.
by Napoleon Hill.
Yes, and there's actually you can find them in the bookstores, not just a book, but they've developed workbooks that you can actually go through and write, and visualization's a big part of that. Affirmations as well. So visualize yourself. What does it feel like? Like, I just cleared 250,000 in commissions this year. What does that feel like? What are the things you're able to do with that kind of money? How does that really change my life? And and live it in your mind. Visualizations can be very powerful. Okay, so we have spent the first three SAV on our mind, on our spirit. Exercise. And it's different for everybody. But maybe you're looking to about a half an hour. Some people will build it all the way up and make this a full hour of their morning. And they're getting up at 4 or 5 a.m. to do it. Exercise. At least 20 minutes, right? If it's walking and you're at a good steady walk, if you're doing weights, if you're doing jogging, if you're doing yoga, if whatever it is you're doing, do it for at least 20 minutes. The recommendation is 15 minutes to half an hour. Certainly, you can start out, hey, I did 3 push-ups this morning, and maybe tomorrow it's 4, or however you work it out. But exercise, we got to work on our bodies. We've got to get our blood flowing, get ourselves going. Um, Reading. So Terry just brought up the book Think and Grow Rich. You should probably spend recommendation, and it's different for everybody. But if you're 15 minutes to sit and read a chapter in a book, maybe take some notes. I got a ton of digital books, but honestly, when it comes to books I want to study, I love printed copies because I dog ear important pages. I make notes in the margins. I highlight. When I buy a book, it's a workbook. It's a study guide. I'm trying to get something from the book. And I like being able to go back to the book. Yes. And I like being able to go back to the book and go, oh, where did I read that? And reread stuff. So it's important that you find books. I would say if you're into novels or fantasy adventures or Stephen King type stuff, I would save that for the evening for more or less for entertainment. If you're less apt to turn on the TV and more apt to sit and read for entertainment, I would do that. In this particular instance, you want something that's going to be, we're building ourselves up, right? We're prepping ourselves for the day, and we need to learn. There's always new things to learn. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a digital book. Very quick to access, pull it right up, and some of the digital media will allow you to actually make notes and do highlights right in the digital book and flag them for you. So make reading part of your day. And then the S part of savers, scribing, journaling, write it down, right? Get your thoughts out on paper and get in that habit of writing a journal. And it doesn't matter what you write. And you will find that the more you write, the easier it is to write. And it could be what you plan for the day. It could be, oh, by the way, I thought about this additional thing I want to do to help me toward my goal. Um, it could be a thought or a feeling, or maybe just a commentary on the beautiful sunrise this morning because you were up before the sun. Um, so if you're already working at building systems, if you already have sort of a system in place and you want to try to get off on a good foot, the Savers morning routine is a wonderful way to start your day. And really, you're talking about an extra hour in the morning to just kind of get yourself up and going on a good footing. So there you have it. So part one of your system is getting yourself out of bed and getting yourself set right. I recommend Savers. I've used it before, and it's had good results. The thing we need help, and I'm happy to help you with it because we're all in this together. If you need somebody to hold you accountable, and we have a conversation on a Friday, and you want somebody to talk to and go, you know what? I missed my goal this week, or I didn't do the thing I said I was going to do, or whatever it happens to be. You know, you got people behind you. Terry.
So something I think that goes really nice with this is a system or a method called streaks.
Okay.
And because nobody's perfect in life, nobody's perfect every day. And
Streak.
so I love what you presented here, but no matter what my intentions are, sometimes I miss it.
Hmm.
And so what I have in my to-do lists are I and I use a task manager that has a thing called streaks in it. And so what I would have is I would have a an item that repeats every day called silence, one called affirmation, one called visualizations. And I would check them off that I did those that morning. And then occasionally, if I screw up, I miss it, I don't give up. I just get back to it the next day. And the idea is you're trying to keep your streak going. This is a time tested thing. They're using it in a lot of apps these days. Is that if you make life a game, and you're more attracted to doing that little item, and you don't want to fail, of course. So by getting those streaks up, like, okay, maybe I only did it 3 days in a row this week, I want to see if I can do it 4, 5, or 6 next week,
Yeah.
right? And so you try to get those streaks up, and those kind of methods, those kind of systems help us create those daily habits, because after a while, after you try to keep these streaks up, kind of do these things, then it just becomes a habit that you do, and you don't technically need the to-do list to remind you to fit
Right.
in exercise or your 10 pages of reading or whatever it happens to be that you're putting on your schedule. If you do it enough times and you get your streak going long enough, it becomes natural, and you don't ever want to miss it because it's just part of your day at some
Right.
point.
It's kind of like exercise, and I used to be this way, where it gets to the point where if you miss it, like if you don't get to exercise that particular day, you miss it. It feels unnatural not to do it. And that's kind of where we want to get ourselves to. It's funny you mentioned I use Duolingo. I'm helping me, expedite my learning Spanish. And they got this, I don't even know what it is, kind of looks like an owl shaped kind of thing, who they asked me right up front, how many days in a row are you committing to? And I'm easy, I'll do 3. And I get a reminder. It's like, hey, don't miss today. And then I'll log in, and the guy's like leaning on a little counting clock, going, you know, and they do. It's fun. It's funny. But all those little things to help us manage ourselves is really what it comes down to build discipline and manage ourselves so that we can accomplish the things we want to accomplish. Thanks for sharing that, Terry. What is that? Yeah. Oh, that's the streaks. Is that the app? You're still on mute. You're on mute.
So I happen to be using chaos control for this purpose, but literally what's on my screen right there are one chapter section or topic of a book, 10 minutes of meditation, AM processing of email, like the kind of those kind of things that we're talking about. But a couple of those are from this savers list that are
Yeah.
already in my list. And the idea is, and this app happens to track the streaks, just like what we were talking about. So
So,
I wanted to show the reality is, sometimes we're talking about this stuff, it's new to us. This isn't new to me, the idea of it. I'm still not perfect at it. I'm constantly working on myself, you know. But I think it's important, and I think it's always important to go back to the basics, and basically try to improve yourself. So it's okay to go back to those foundational principles. I
mhm.
I have heard for example, you brought up big rocks. I have heard that big rock story and conversation most of my life, since I was younger. That story's come across, but yet every time I hear it, I'm like, I'm glad that person brought that up, because it reminds us that there's some things that are more important than others, and busy work is probably not one of those.
Right, right. I will say this. The Most of the things, like when you read about savers, a lot of the articles that work with that or talk about it mention not picking up technology during that time. All of the things in savers are all things that we do naturally from the mind, from the body, right? Even back to the mind if you're writing. Now it's funny because I say that, and yet when I write on a digital tablet. Um, but we stay unplugged. Don't pick up the phone. Don't start reading email. Don't do just get your mind and your heart and your body set and then go. And it's different for everybody. I do have my meditation routine in the morning. It's a little different from most, but I will tell you this because a lot of people will relate to this. We get up, we get in the shower, we get going, boom, 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 and we're by the end of the day, we're exhausted. And a lot of times I find that if I don't do my morning routine, which does include meditation, by the way. Yeah, okay. For some of us, it is medication. Thanks, Carmen. Um, so I have found when I do miss those, I'm not the same during the day. I've gotten up, I'm in a rush, I'm in a rush, I'm in a rush all day long, I'm in a rush, I'm always behind, and I'm never any better off for it. I'm just more tired at the end of the day for it. So getting into a morning routine and holding yourself to it. And you know something? Setting boundaries so that other people respect that you need to do this in order to prepare for your day is important. That's another topic for another conversation, setting boundaries. Any other comments or input? All right. Well, I appreciate you coming, Carmen, Yogi, for being here, and I hope you found it beneficial. We will get this out, and I look forward to seeing you guys Monday morning, coffee with a broker, motivational Monday, and then next week, coffee with the broker. And I will try to lay this out and get it all out on the calendar. But you know what? I'm talking to a lot of people, and they want to get their goals together that they should plug into this. So
Uh,
I'll get them
and
in.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
We spoke yesterday that there are about 10, 15 agents in our brokerage who are like really performing, like, hitting those six figures or above. In any of the coffee with broker session or the motivation, is it possible to bring two or three of them, not all of them together, maybe one after the other, to see what is it they're doing differently? So that we can we don't have to reinvent the wheel, we can just replicate it and grow the business more exponentially. Because
Sure.
see, when it comes from an agent who has actually done that, been there and done that, for
I
me as an
I
agent, I can bank on it and I can just copy paste and just make sure my business grows exponentially.
I'm happy to do that. I will ask. I have
Anybody, I mean,
I
any
have
of the
that
top
list.
performing agents.
I have that list. I'm happy to ask, see if anyone is willing to join us on a Zoom and share their secrets to success.
Yeah, yeah. If
Okay.
not, please get me connected if they are not interested. I would like to connect with them one on one.
All right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Thanks, Alan.
You're welcome. All right. Wonderful. Thank you for joining and have a great rest of your week. Oof, halfway through. This week is flying by. So hope it's productive. And Terry, good luck at your open house this weekend. All
Thank
right.
you so
Wake up,
much. You
guys.
noticed that, huh?
I did. Take care.
Later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.